I am starting with mixing plaster of Paris with water to use it for the stencil. Here is the consistency I will need. I will make 2 of those stencils, and all I need is to center them. I am applying a quite thick but even layer of the plaster of Paris. The plaster of Paris is very cheap and quite good to use for making a small raised stencil, but it dries very fast. You can add some water while it is still soft, but after a few minutes it becomes stone dry. If you want to use it, you have to apply it very fast. It took less than 5 minutes to get it this dry and unusable. The stencils are very dry now and ready for the next step. I have sanded the stencils slightly to make the surface even. Now I am covering the whole piece, including the stencils, with my base color, Graphite chalk paint by Annie Sloan. I don't bother about brush strokes. More texture is better for what I am planning to do with this piece. I am going to apply 2 colors of graphite and let it dry. Here it is dry and ready for the next step. I am using Annie Sloan Primer Red chalk paint here and a dry sawdust, but I do not mix them. I am applying the red paint first, then dipping the same brush into the dry sawdust and dabbing it into the paint. I am dry brushing the stencils as I want to leave the graphite in the low points. I am also leaving some of the graphite around the stencils, which will give them some shading later in the process. Applying the sawdust or any medium this way gives a different kind of texture comparing when I just mix it with the paint. I am using my mister bottle to spray the sawdust. It helps to dab it into the paint. When this cover is almost dry, I am taking some of the red paint off with a metal spatula. Depending on how dry the paint is, I am spraying it with more or less water. Because of the uneven surface created by the sawdust, the paint comes off easily, revealing the graphite underneath. Here, I am also using a metal kitchen brush and the wet rag. All those tools are helping me to create that naturally worn-out look I am after. My next step is 2 colors of chalk paint, the Collabah green and the dark egg blue by Annie Sloan. And here I want to introduce my new tool, the shower sponge. Let's see what kind of texture we can create with this one. The Collabah green and the dark egg blue are two colors very close, but they will create slightly different shades. The Collabah green is a gray green and the dark egg blue is a greenish blue. Next, I am going to use a gold paint spray and a newspaper. Keep watching. I am spraying the surface with gold quite lightly. Then, spraying it with water and taking the excesses with a newspaper. All those tools I am using here are helping me to create an evenly painted surface, which hopefully will look natural. When everything is well dry, I am applying a brown wax. The gold paint seals the chalk paint underneath, and I do not need to use the clear wax. So I am just applying the brown wax and taking the excesses of it with a lint-free rag. Here, you can have a close look to the coat without the wax and with. And to finish the piece, I am adding some of the antique gilding wax to the trim of the table. and slightly brushing with it the very tips of the stencils. And here it is ready to be used. Thank you for stopping by. I will see you again with my new fun project.